Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. My name is Sean Dexter. And I wish you all a happy Sunday. Welcome you to Mango Grow for your daily analysis video. I'm here with Krisha. Krisha, say hi.
And what's up, you guys?
Krisha, I'm really excited. I was expecting a slower day today. I was going to come in here today and tell people, hey guys, I don't usually do a video on Sundays, but today I'm going to do one because I want to re-emphasize, be patient, don't get excited, don't FOMO into positions because that's when Bitcoin will smack you. And what do you know, Krisha, Bitcoin beat me to the punch with a nice big red candle to the downside. I'm pretty sure a lot of people got hurt on this one, but hey, I think mostly everyone in the Mango community, at least people in the Mango seed, are pretty fine, right? I don't think there are any surprises over here. We've been going over this very scenario for the past like 3 or 4 days now, especially over the weekend streams. But hey, now things have changed a little bit. More so in that, hey, we have a few more things to talk about because I was expecting Bitcoin to pretty much be around these prices. And I don't say around these prices, but I was expecting to have to come in over here today and say, guys, be patient. Just wait. Things are looking really good. But, you know, just wait for the weekly close. We got the monthly close, but that weekly close is yet to prove itself. And Krisha, what do you know?
And it's all very interesting. And the thing is that, I mean, I was expecting this, a swift rally to the upside for the most part, just based on how that monthly closed, Sean. So the monthly closed very, very strong.
Indeed. So you know what? Let's go ahead and start with the monthly. Now, again, guys, to everyone who is really serious about trading and wanting to learn how to do this, right? You guys are going to enjoy this video. You guys are going to find value in this video. For those of you who are looking for a quick call as to, hey, is it going down? Is it going up? Just turn off the video right now. Just find a different channel because you're likely not going to get that quick answer that you're looking for. Okay, but for people who want to put their minds to work, people who want to actually learn how to do this, even when one day Krish and I decide to take a really long vacation, well, this video is for you guys. So, Krish, I've just switched on over to the monthly time frame, all right? And I really love what Bitcoin is doing right now because it in a way, it's so methodical, right? It's so methodical because what have we been talking about? You and I, and also on the streams over the past like 2 or 3 days, we said, hey, Bitcoin needs to close over that major monthly level, which was sitting at around, I believe, 10,750, 10,700-ish, 10,750. We can go ahead and get the exact number. Again, it was 10,760. We got that close, right, Krisha?
Yes, sir.
It was brilliant. We were really happy about that, but we said, hey, now let's move down over to the weekly time frame because we are going to have a cascade of effects coming into play right now. We got that major monthly close. Great. But the weekly levels that we were looking at was sitting at 11,500-ish, 11,600-ish, right? Okay, cool. So even though we got the monthly close that we are looking for, great, we still need to clear weekly resistance. And remember, the monthly time frame has 30 days to play out now, Krisha. The weekly was coming up on Sunday, right? Which is today.
Yeah. So it's like so a lot of people, they probably, I noticed that people get confused in the way we look at time frames. So what I wanted to mention is that we look at multiple, time frames to gauge whether or not Bitcoin is likely to see perhaps a retest of a region that could very well be a good trade opportunity.
Exactly, which
right?
is
That's why we look at these various time frames. Now, in terms of the monthly versus the weekly, yes, the monthly does trump the weekly in that just because it's a higher time frame, there's a lot more days that went into each candle. It's a lot more significant. Okay, but it's that weekly time frame that will really determine. It's going to tell you, hey, are you able to get in a better bid?
Indeed. And sometimes the story will say, hey, you are likely going to get a better bid, or sometimes the story will tell you you are going to see continuation before you get that better bid, right? And this is why I really liked what Bitcoin did over here because now, did I trade this perfectly? No, of course not. There was a buy opportunity on this that I missed, but the way Bitcoin played it out tells us that our read on the market is correct, and we can play that same read. We don't need to reevaluate anything. We just need to keep doing what we're doing, and this market will continue to be extremely profitable for us, right? So what was our read though? I just want to do a quick recap, okay? And I want to touch on what you just mentioned too, Krisha, on looking at multiple time frames. Okay, now I'm going to be drawing on my chart right now, Krisha, just for illustrative purposes. For those who are viewing, you're going to have to kind of visualize this. Now, we look at multiple time frames. Mainly, we've been looking at the monthly. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write here 1 month, and we are looking at the weekly. I'm going to write the weekly, and then we've been looking at the daily time frames, either the daily, the 2-day, or the 4-day, right? Now, just for brevity, we're going to only mention the daily over here. Now, over here, we were initially looking at that major monthly close. We got that. Cool. We got the really good, great monthly close at around 10,700. All right. And then after that, we were looking at the weekly level that we wanted Bitcoin to close over, which was essentially 11,500-ish. Okay. It's actually more like 11,550-ish. But again, for brevity, 11,500. Now, if you remember, Krisha, last night, or I think it was earlier towards the evening, we posted the mango seed. Guys, what do you all think? Is Bitcoin going to close the week above 11,500, or is it going to get rejected, right? That was really important. That showed how we were looking at the multiple time frames, because even though we got that major monthly close over 10,700, we weren't looking for the next major level on the monthly just yet, because we knew that, hey, the monthly has 30 days to play out. The weekly resistance is coming up in 2 days, and that is 11,500. Okay, cool. The weekly is coming up in 2 days. What does that mean though? What does that mean? It means that the daily may still have time to play out its levels before the weekly shows its resistance, correct? So now, Krisha, let's go on over to the daily time frame, okay? Because we know the monthly level is already cleared, right? And the monthly now has 30 days to play out. So we have many days to play out its trend, but the weekly is coming in at 11,700. All right? So let's go ahead now and look at if the weekly level has 2 days to play out. Okay, if the weekly level has 2 days to play out, the daily may show its playthrough before the weekly comes in, steps in, and shows its resistance, correct? And where was the most recent daily level coming in at? And I'm going to go ahead and just delete these lines here just to keep things simple for people. Okay, where was the most recent daily level coming in at? The nearest 12,000-ish, right? We cleared the major levels already at around 10,500-ish. Okay, everybody watched that. Everybody was excited about that. So we cleared the daily level, we cleared the monthly level, and we have 2 days for the next weekly resistance level. We'll come to that in a bit. So we went and perfectly smacked against that daily level, Krisha. I had it marked at around 11,950-ish. I had mine marked over here, okay? It was more like 12,015, so I clearly drew my line a little bit wrong. Let me go ahead and zoom in. What was it? The exact number was... No, yeah. The exact number would have been 11,980-ish. But Bitcoin coming in, smacking all the way up to 12,200-ish, right? Couple $100 higher. Actually, what was the high? The high was 12,000... Let me just do this. 12,100.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so perfectly $100 above the target I was looking for, and then coming down to respect our weekly resistance as of now. Hey, we may still clear this. The weekly still has 17 hours before we clear this level, but this level, Krisha, has been plaguing Bitcoin for a very long time. This has been the level where most of the liquidation hunts, most of that effery shows itself. And hey, we've been prepared. Most of the Mongolians, the way we shall say it, have been prepared too. And this is why the people who have been doing it the mango way, the stress-free way, they've been enjoying the sunshine and they are more than fine, right? On a day like this, nobody's really stressed out. Everybody's just enjoying the trend, and the trend is pretty much still intact, Krisha. What are your thoughts?
I think the trend is intact. In fact, this, I was sort of, remember just the other day when the monthly did close, I'm like, all right, we've closed well over the monthly level. Now, the monthly level that I have marked out on my chart is around 10,975-ish. And I'm like, okay, we closed well over it. Now, just the other day, I was like, Sean, I think I'm going to be anticipating a pullback for a retest of that monthly level.
Yeah.
And that's technically what we got in a little more.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
I did really want to give you a shout out on that one, and I forgot to. You were very very adamant on that a couple of days ago. Like, Sean, we're going to get that retest. We're going to get that retest. You were talking about this in seed too, right?
Yeah.
And well, what do you know, Krisha? You were rewarded with that retest, and
So yeah, this was. I feel like this is all one big buy opportunity on Bitcoin. Now, of course, this is my personal opinion. This is not trading advice in any way, but it's just it's sort of that last monthly close did set a tone, Sean. Okay,
yes,
it's a
yes.
bullish tone. It's Bitcoin is telling you that, hey, I'm doing something very very different, something I haven't done in 1 year. Okay, and I am taking a stand. I'm picking a side of the fence.
Exactly.
And it's picked its side, and now it's just that, okay, it's about, we had spoken about this not too long ago, and that we do not paint the story for Bitcoin or any of the altcoins, right? We let it
Tell us
paint
the
the
story.
story for us,
Well said, Krisha.
right?
Well said.
We sit here without any biases, and we look at the picture and we try and see what is it that the chart is telling us.
We don't enforce our worldview on the asset. We let the asset tell us what its view is, what it wants from the world, and because that is really the secret of trading, right? Being able to say, hey, this is what the rest of the market is doing. Like, I'm not going to force my view on the market, because Krisha, had we done that, right? Had we done that, we would have stayed bearish when Bitcoin crossed the 7,000 mark after its reversal from the 3K, 4K region,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
But we were like, hey, we're wrong on this. The trend is reversing here to the upside. We are playing it in the high time frames. We are playing it the mango way and the stress-free way. And we realized that, damn, now our mango way is telling us to switch bullish right over here around April-ish, around towards the end of April, April 15th, April 20th. And boom, imagine staying bearish the entire time, right? We know people who did, because they were, what were they doing? They were trying to force their worldview onto the markets, and you can't do that. It's not the stress-free way. It's not the mango way, right? Which is why we enforce. I don't want to say enforce, but we encourage the stress-free way, because in the long run, you just end up with your account size growing because you're just doing it, doing what the market wants, right? And hey, this is a really good example. Krisha, I do want to talk about something very particular on the daily time frame, right? You talked about how we got that monthly retest, right?
Correct.
And that really lined up very well. You got the retest, and you got the bounce. And again, if people have been listening to your view on that, listening to our view on how you usually do get that retest, especially leading into a weekly resistance, they would have been prepared for this move, right?
Yes.
But there were multiple ways to be prepared for this move. If you were, for example, one was simply to turn on the mango ribbon, and you'll see that, hey, the Tenkin is coming in right over there. Retest of the Tenkin, nothing to worry about. The trend is continuing, nothing at all, right? Nothing at all that is surprising over here. We likely going to get picked up, may come and give the 10 SMA a revisit. Let's see. This will determine whether the trend is really strong or not. Now we'll find out more information. But there was another really key thing that happened over here, Krisha. Going back to the order flow module, okay, in the C program. So now, guys, I'm talking to all of you in the Mango C program directly. I want you guys to keep an eye over here, guys. What happened? Look at this wick. Okay, Krisha, I want you to hover your cursor right over the daily candle at 28th July, and then again today's candle at August 2nd, right, 2020. Right. You're going to see that we took out the low at 10,587.
Oh,
we took out that low. And look at exactly. And if you were paying attention to the order flow module, right? I'm talking to all of you guys in the Mango C program. This was an opportunity. This was a massive opportunity in conjunction with all the theory that we study in that module, with the mango ribbon, the Tenkin put together. You guys would have been looking at that. Okay, you guys would have been looking at them like, hey, nothing to worry about over here. This was opportunity. Now, albeit all of this happened so freaking fast, and I messed up on this one too. I should have had a resting bid right over here around the Tenkin, looking for this opportunity, and I thought that because I've been like pretty much keeping an eye on the charts throughout the weekend as much as I could, and the one time I freaking take my eyes off this, not the one time, but I went for a shower. This all happened while I was having a shower, and I missed this completely. Krisha happened to actually capture this opportunity, not on Bitcoin, but on Ethereum. So
Yes.
good for you, Krisha. Well done. But I'm feeling a little bummed out that I missed out on this. But guys, this is what I mean, right? By using all the concepts, all the theory together with the risk management module, you would have not only avoided getting stopped out of your position, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of people got stopped out. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to wake up to their account saying, hey, Bitcoin's fine, but your position's gone. Right, Krisha, how many times you and I have had to go through that, right? And when we just started trading.
You not so much, but me, like I remember, guys, I've been through a lot of pain, and the shittiest part about my pain was the fact that it was the same thing happening over and over and over again. And Sean at one point just had to facepalm, and he's like, "Are you serious? Like, how many times does this have to happen to you
But
for you to learn your lesson?" So no, this kind of thing has happened to me quite a lot of times in the past few years. Of course, now not so much. Every now and then, I do get caught in one of these hunts, but that was because I got really lazy with my position and my planning.
so I,
And
I
that's
want
another
to
thing. You
touch
can
on
get
something,
too lazy
Krisha,
with
that
it.
you.
Yeah.
This is more in relation to community, right? You talked about how you said you not so much, Sean, but you particular Krisha, you've been getting in the past. You got stopped out and you got hunted out, blah blah blah, right? But the thing is, right, when I see you get hunted, when I see our seedlings get hunted out of positions and our friends get hunted out of positions, it still affects us, right? Like psychologically, we all are we feel a little bit down when our community members also get caught out like that,
Yeah.
right? So it's one of the reasons why I tell all the new seedlings too. I'm like, guys, please take your time. Please be patient. Please go through all the modules. Okay, go through all the modules because they each build up on each other, right? And they all come together to the risk management module. There's a reason why I spent 5 hours on that module to give you guys a proper holistic understanding of why we do the things we do, which is, it's one of the reasons why I gave my entire edge away to you guys. I remember someone telling me, Sean, why would you do this? Why would you give away your entire edge, right? And Kishan, I think you know who I'm talking about. And I was like, it's because of this. It's because I don't want to see people go through the same pain that I have, right? And I remember when Vinny, Trader Fraser, watched the entire thing, he's like, holy shit, Sean has literally given away everything to you guys. But at the same time, I'm seeing a lot of people be impatient. Guys, if you are impatient, you're going to get caught in these kind of things, okay? Be patient, and you can turn these type of situations to your advantage, right? As long as you execute on it as well. Like, so for example, I wasn't able to turn this into my advantage. Why? Because I wasn't here to execute on this. But I want all of you who have been following Mango for a while to go all the way back. And Kusha, you're going to remember this one because you were watching me execute on this one with your mouth dropping. Like, Sean, what are you doing? Okay. And I know some of you guys remember this too. All the way back over here, 17th May 2019. When we actually caught this bid at 6,500, 6,600-ish. Yes, it went much lower, but this was only on Bitstamp. I don't think it went that low on Deribit, if I remember correctly. But we actually were adding to our position over here on this trend, and this is so similar, Krisha, if you remember. Yeah. Massive push to the downside, and a couple of days later, boom, bounced right back up and then had trend continuation. Yes, Bitcoin was shaky a little bit, and I think Ethereum was running over here. Hey, maybe similar story may pan out. We'll have to go back and test the charts together, Krisha. But
yes,
yeah, guys, the history rhymes. Okay, history is not going to repeat itself entirely, but history rhymes. And if you find yourself constantly getting stopped out of positions and giving good positions back on over to the market, you need to reevaluate and ask yourself, am I getting too impatient? Am I doing something wrong? All those questions. Because I realized I was doing something wrong when I started my journey. I'm like, what's going on? I'm giving away good positions back to the market. What is going on over here, right? This is why, guys, I don't use stop losses the way the rest of you guys do. I don't use a trading stop technique, blah, blah, blah. Like, it may work for many of you. It doesn't work for the way I want to trade. I want to trade the stress-free way. I want to be able to go out, enjoy the sunlight, enjoy the mountain views, enjoy the freaking breeze outside, and not have to worry about my position every single moment of the day. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys feel that way too. So ask yourself all of these questions and evaluate how you're trading. Krisha, I apologize for the rant I went on right now.
No, I think these are all very, very important points, because the thing is that, guys, this is where, lessons that Sean is giving you right now really comes into play when volatility picks up. Okay, when volatility picks up, it's easy for these things to happen. You getting hunted out of your positions, and the worst feeling is for you to get hunted only for price to get eaten back up and close over the level that you were initially looking at.
Yep. And it's so painful to lose money in a bull market like that.
Exactly. And if you forget lose money, you're losing your position.
Yeah.
You're losing your position in a bull market. You're losing a long position in a bull market.
And it's something that you and I have discussed. We don't discuss it too much over here on these videos, but in our day-to-day conversations, this comes into play every single time, right? Every time we get tempted to take profits on a trade, unless it is planned, unless we really plan to take profits, we don't. And we are always reminding each other, remember, Sean, remember, Kusha, do not lose position. As tempting as it is to take profits, we really need to evaluate how much is that profit worth to you compared to losing your position in the market. That's why we avoid these kind of stop loss mistakes, right? Because our position is so key to us, the way we trade, at least at Mango.
That's true.
All right, so again, apologies for the rant, guys, but to those of you who really care to learn how to do this in the long run and not only here to get the right trade call, right? Because think about it. Let's say you guys got the right trade call, because what are we saying? We're like, hey, guys, we'll be getting into position right when Bitcoin starts closing two-day candles above the Tenkin. That was all the way at 9,500-ish, 9,450-ish, right? But would that have mattered if you just, let's say you took that call and you were just using something like a trading stop technique? Well, you just lost your position. It wouldn't have mattered now if Bitcoin goes all the way to 20,000 or 30,000 or 200,000 or even freaking 15,000, right? You lost your position because the rest of the techniques that you're supposed to also follow or understand how to follow, rather, you don't have, right? So this is why Mango will never be simply, hey guys, buy here, it's going to the moon. Buying is only literally 5% of the battle. It's important, yes, but there's so much more to it.
That is true. On that note, Sean, coming back onto the technicals, okay, now if you get onto the weekly, now we close a weekly tomorrow, guys, but I want to show you guys something very, very bullish. I currently have like the broadest smile on my face.
I know what she's going for.
Get onto your weekly time frames, all of you out there.
She's going to be talking about this, guys.
And put on, drumroll please, your Ichimoku Cloud. Okay, the settings that we used here at Mango is 20, 60, 120, 30. They are the double settings. They're also, the Ichimoku Cloud is also available with the Mango ribbon. For those of you who do not have access to the Mango ribbon, it is completely free. There's a link in the description. You can sign up there and I will grant you access. But put on that Ichimoku Cloud, and I want you to look at the cloud, guys. The cloud has finally turned green.
Kusha, it is so amazing that we've gone through literally our entire morning, you and I, and we've not mentioned this to each other because we've been waiting for so long for this, right? And I'm pretty sure we both came on to the charts today, waited for this to turn green, looked at it, and were thinking of each other, but we didn't mention it to each other, which is, hey, this is one of the reasons why it's so hard to be bearish, right? Drawdowns are buy opportunities, but you need to do those smartly too. But Krisha, what are your thoughts on this now?
But let's tell them the significance. I mean, such a big deal about it. Guys, go. The last time the cloud was green was in the last bull market. To think of the fact that from the 3K run all the way to 14K, now that was a parabolic run that we witnessed, right? The fact that the cloud did not even turn green after that run was, I'm like, okay, like, damn, then when is it going to turn green? Well, guess what? It just turned green. This is the first time since that last bull cycle.
Yep. And Krisha, I do want to again highlight how much patience is going to play a role, right? Because when we simply look at the chart over here on the weekly time frame and like, oh man, we went on a big bull run when the cloud turned green, blah blah blah. It's easy to live this in hindsight, like, yeah, I can ride this trend all the way to the upside. Number one, you guys saw it today. Okay, again, I'm regurgitating, I'm being redundant intentionally. You guys saw today that's not that easy. Okay, you need to have a plan. Number two, please bear in mind that this cloud turned green in 2016, somewhere around August 8th, 2016. Hey, wow. Wow, is there symmetry on that or not? Aren't we in August?
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
this
shoot.
is really really
That's
wow.
that's trippy.
Yeah, that's trippy. So wow. Okay, cool. So anyways, again, remember guys, history rhymes. It doesn't need to repeat itself identically, but there's something interesting over here that we took what it was a good 10 weeks before we popped out of the cloud, pretty much drifting sideways towards the upside. Okay, not very exciting for a lot of people, especially altcoin lovers who love those 20% 50% moves, but for traders who trade leverage and again doing it the safe way, the way we do it at Mango, this was really crucial, right? Sitting through, being patient, and then the massive run to 20,000. So what I'm trying to say over here, guys, is you're going to have to be patient, because going back to our chart on our current time frame, we haven't closed above the weekly cloud, which is, Krisha, 11,400ish, right? We may close above it, who knows? But right now, it looks like we may get rejected yet again, like we did just before the coronavirus drawdown.
That's right. But this is looking good. I feel like this is we are entering a bull market. There's one little kind of side note I want to add to people out there. I noticed that a lot of people probably got pushed out of their positions in this recent dump. Don't get demotivated.
Oh yes.
Okay, please don't get demotivated. What happened to me when I started trading was that I had a good position. It ran well. Okay, until it didn't. And something like this happened to me where there was a bear attack, price dumped, and I got stopped out of my position. And because I had these ill feelings about that lost position, I just stopped looking at the chart altogether.
Yep.
Okay, and that, guys, costed me dearly. I cannot tell you how much that costed me. So do not if you lose position for whatever reason, do not lose sight of the macro picture. Do not get demotivated.
Okay,
so go back on there.
So important.
Okay, go with a clear head. Don't go with the mindset to recoup. Don't ever do that. When you're going back to the chart again, you are hitting the reset button.
Yep.
Okay, when you hit that reset button on your trade setup, you hit that reset button mentally as well, okay, psychologically as well, and that is very, very important.
So I'm so glad that you mentioned this, Krisha, because we tend to forget, right, what people go through psychologically after these kind of moves. And especially me, like it's easy for me to say, oh yeah, if you guys have been doing it this way, then everything would be fine. But every now and then we all slip, we all make mistakes. Like very recently I made not too recently, it was like a couple of months ago, I made a mistake on lend. I didn't get back into my trade when I should have, right? I made a psychological mistake after getting out once and not getting in again, even though it gave me the opportunity to, and I missed out on the rest of it. And when that kind of thing happens, right, you can look at the trade and be like, damn, and let it affect you for the rest of your trades, or you can just shake it off and completely ignore it and move on to the next trade and keep doing what you're doing that works, right? Because how many times have you guys watched an asset and told yourselves, hey, damn, all I had to do was follow my rules and I would have been fine, right? And then you beat yourself up for it. You start staring at the chart. You're like, man, I would have made like freaking $50,000, $100,000. All I had to do was stay in the trade, and you let that affect you for your next trade and your next trade and your next trade, which is why I kind of use the same principles I used when I was first getting into the entire dating scene and the PUA scene, when a girl rejected me, like when I would approach a girl at a mall. Again, this is more for you guys out there who will be able to probably relate to this. I was a really shy guy, but I got out of my comfort zone and I started approaching girls. So I just tried to talk to them randomly, and I would get rejected and rejected often. And my best friend, Brian, he's like, Sean, how are you doing this, man? How do you get over being rejected so often? And I said, rejected? When did I get rejected? And he looked at me, he said, what are you talking about? You got rejected 5 minutes ago. I'm like, oh yeah, I just forgot about it. Right? So to me, it almost felt like I had a 100% win rate. But guys, similarly with trading, right? Take the loss very quickly, take the rejection very quickly, and move on to the next trade opportunity, right? Don't let it affect you. Because you'll miss out on the next opportunity. I was talking to Ollie just I think it was 3 or 4 days ago, maybe a bit earlier, and I told him about this massive win opportunity that I missed out on. And Krishna knows which one I'm talking about too. Like, guys, this was a life-changing win opportunity, right? You guys have no idea. If I tell you guys about this one, you guys are actually gonna like facepalm it. But it doesn't. I'm not going to let it affect me for the rest of the. If I had let that affect me, I would have missed out on the 3x and the 4x's that we got on ERD, SXP, VChain, ZIL. I would have let it affect me on all those trades. Do not let it affect you. Move on, right? Because you're going to get another one eventually. Just make sure your PNL just keeps going up in the like how Bitcoin's moving average over the past years has been going up like this, right, on the weekly time frame. That's what you need to do with your PNL. Even if it's going up slowly, eventually you're going to get that massive win. Poof, that will change your account, right? That's what happened for Krisha and me, man. We just suddenly got 3 massive wins during the bear market of all times, and yeah, it was here and then here and then on the Ethereum too. But yeah. So,
but now let's give them a bit of technical, Sean. So where do you think price? So now, okay, so what the picture that we have currently in front of us, okay, is that price right now is getting rejected off of that weekly cloud. In addition to, it's not just the weekly cloud up there, okay, we also have a weekly horizontal coming in, okay, right, around that 12K region. What do you think if we close underneath that region? Where do you think is the next sort of support that Bitcoin may, okay, now this is a may test, because I feel like there's that momentum right now.
So this is where it gets very, very interesting, and we should probably put a timestamp for people who want to skip all of the rambling and move on to this area, right? So we will start with the daily time frame, Krisha, and I want to, again, reiterate that we came up against that major 12K resistance, okay, which lined up with the weekly resistance at 11,500-ish, right? So what ended up happening was we met the daily resistance and then came down to the weekly resistance as well. We're respecting both those levels. So we can now draw a zone over here between 12,000 on the daily time frame and 11,600 on the weekly time frame. Again, Krisha, we may come and revisit that daily resistance at 12,000 later during this week, right? And still respect the weekly resistance by the end of the week. So what may end up happening is we may actually just consolidate over here between those two zones until we break up with, like, so what Bitcoin may do is put in some symmetrical triangle and ascending triangle. Who knows? We are again speculating like we usually do with these type of consolidations, and we got to get mentally prepared for that. So what would be the first sign that Bitcoin may actually do something like this? Well, now we need to drill down on over to the lower time frames. I'm going to go ahead and actually, let me just delete everything I just drew. Switch on over to the 4-hour time frame. And I'm looking at this 10K Krisha and the 21 EMA on the 4-hour. That's going to give us our first sign. Do we clear these two levels? Okay, if we actually start closing multiple 4-hour candles above this at around, let's say 11,400, right? I had a horizontal there. Yeah, okay. I think I deleted it at the beginning of the video. Anyways, 11,400. It's also lining up with the ascending triangle, Krisha, that we were looking for Bitcoin to break towards the upside on the 1 hour and 4-hour time frames. If we close above that, I think that's going to be a really, really good sign that Bitcoin's literally going to pick itself up and later in the week retest 12,000. Okay, later in the week. I have a strong feeling that Bitcoin is going to close the weekly underneath 11,700-ish, 11,800, and respect that weekly resistance. But hey, it may actually completely revert over here and close above. If that happens, I think we'll see continuation immediately. I'm not counting on that. It'll be beautiful if we do see it. The probability says that we, after this, the probability says we don't. However, it may happen. It may happen. So we have to keep our eyes out for that too. As of right now, you can see that the 11,400 region is being used as resistance. Bitcoin is struggling to get above it, Krisha. If we see Bitcoin close multiple 4 hours, so like if this 4 hour candle plus another 4 hour candle underneath 11,400, I'm going to be looking for Bitcoin to actually come back and test somewhere around 10,850 again, which would be a monthly level, right, Krisha?
Yes.
Yeah, so retest of that monthly level, Krisha, is what I'd be looking for. If we don't manage to retake 10,400-ish, back down to 10,850 eventually by the end of by midweek or something like that. If we retake it, I think we'll be consolidating between 12,000 and 11,400-ish, perhaps wick down to the middle of the range over here on the daily time frame, but eventually start putting in a consolidation formation against that major daily and weekly resistance at 12,000 to 11,600. That is what I am reading, put in a more brief perspective.
Yeah, I think I think basically I agree with your analysis on this, your sort of forecast on this. It's because I'm looking at this buyback, right? Currently on the 4-hour time frame on Bitcoin USD, and I'm looking at this buyback. This buyback is pretty damn significant.
Indeed.
Okay, and I feel like right now, I mean, we still have about a couple more hours left before we close this 4-hour candle. But if we manage to take that 21 and the 10 can back, I'll be looking for another retest of those monthly and weekly. So I have a weekly level actually sitting at same thing as yours, 11,700. Is that what you have? Or 11,400? No, I have 11,700 on my chart.
So I have
As a weekly level.
11,633-ish. Yeah, so 11,650, 11,700.
Okay, yeah. So pretty much, around for the volatility, I don't think 50 bucks matters
exactly.
right? So it's around that region. I feel like if we manage to close over the 10 Kin 21, we're likely to come back to that level, okay? If we break that level, if we break that 11,650-ish level, and we start closing candles, consecutive 4-hour candles over that, we may actually just take back the monthly, Sean.
Yeah, it's an if this then that, and
Yeah,
Bitcoin
it's
is
gonna
at
be
that
an
pivotal moment right now. Like the next
most
4 hour candles is going to be very decisive as to what happens.
most definitely. And I'm noticing, so what you have marked as an ascending triangle on your chart, I actually have marked as a symmetrical triangle on mine. And I'm noticing that it's like price dumped only to kind of, come back up and sit on top of the triangle. At least that's what it's looking like so far. This candle has not ended.
Yep.
So it's looking bullish. I don't know. It's looking good. Look at that buyback.
Yeah, I had a symmetrical triangle too on the, I think the 1 hour, the 4 hour time frame, and I deleted all my lines at the beginning of the video. But I do remember us actually coming and testing the bottom of the triangle, which we bounced off, actually even underneath. And now it looks like we're actually going to close above it. Damn, I can go ahead and draw it again for the audience, right? Just this. We were using these, again, all of you who were paying attention in the stream, you guys know what I'm talking about. We had a 1 hour symmetrical triangle, but on the 4 hour time frame, we had more of an ascending triangle, and we're closing above both, right? That's right. You guys know I always prefer using horizontals because it keeps me more objective. And hey, if we close above this ascending triangle as well as over the 21 EMA and the 10 Kin, that's gonna be bullish, especially with this wick over here. Krisha, overall, I'm just pretty bullish based on this wick coming in and taking out this wick over here. Again, those of you who have watched the order flow module, you guys know exactly why this was so bullish, right? If you guys need to refresh your theory on that, please go ahead and rewatch it. For example, Felix has been telling me that how he's rewatching the entire module over and over again, and he keeps picking up new things. And this is with learning. When it comes to trading, guys, you always think that you have mastered it and understood things until you go through a situation like this and you're like, you know what, maybe I should go and refresh my knowledge. And when you do refresh your knowledge, you're like, oh damn, there's so many things I missed the first time around on my first read of so-and-so book, right? Similarly with the course, guys, go ahead and rewatch it. Don't get lazy. Life-changing amounts of wins can be had in the market to come. So
yeah, it's about being prepared for for all of these things. But for that, you need to put in the work as well, right? You need to have that initiative to
Yeah.
want to become better. But yeah, this is all I mean, I have to say about Bitcoin. Sean, what about you?
Well, again, to be concise with everybody looking for an answer as to what Bitcoin may do, it's an if this then that. This key level over 11,400 is what I'm going to be keeping an eye on. If we manage to start closing multiple 4-hour candles, I do think we're going to retest 12,000ish again towards midweek. And hey, it's only after we start closing multiple daily candles above 12,000 that I'm going to say, hey, you know what? The weekly resistance at 11,700ish is likely going to be reclaimed. But again, we can't get ahead of ourselves. The weekly will only be reclaimed when the weekly closes about 11,700, which is why I created a poll in the Mango C community. It was such an important level, right? And not surprisingly, really, it was, I think, 32% of seats said, hey, we are going to close underneath, and 70% were more like, hey, 68% more like, we're going to close above. And hey, the week hasn't closed just yet. We have around 15 hours to go, and hey, Bitcoin may recover here. Who knows, right? Bitcoin has done crazy things in the past.
Okay, but gun to your head quickly. Bullish or bearish on the macro?
Oh, bullish, hands down bullish. Like,
Boom.
let's go ahead and look at the monthly before we close this out, guys. What does this look like to you? Can you be bearish on this? Yes, we've had one little red candle, but look at what's happened recently. We're in an uptrend, man. It looks like we're about to break a major ascending triangle in the weekly time frame and head to 200,000. Don't take me too seriously on the 200,000 thingy, guys. It's just an internal joke between me and Krisha. But yeah.
Gotta say it, yeah. All right, and do you guys have our thoughts for today?
My name is
Sean,
Sean
any more
Dexter.
closing notes?
No, I could go on and on and on. I'm just really excited. I'm pumped for the market to come. All we have to do now, guys, is follow everything that we prepared for over the past months, weeks, years, right? Just follow our system, follow our rules, follow our theory, and we are going to be A-okay. We are going to be doing it the mango way, the stress-free way, the profitable way, the easy way, the enjoy your life with your family and your kids way. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Ciao, guys.
Ciao.